So there's been a lot of conversation around Jay-Z, Colin Kaepernick, and the NFL. Let me say this. I in no way believe that Jay-Z is a sellout. I think that Jay-Z has put his money where his mouth is. He has consistently done things that benefit black folks, and I believe he is a champion for our people. That being said, this entire thing started because Colin Kaepernick decided to take a knee to protest injustice. Subsequently, the NFL blackballed him, and so he was effectively fired, terminated, blackballed from his job because he exercised his First Amendment right and he protested, something that should be protested. And so there's been a lot of kind of disagreement around this issue with folks I've been talking to today and people I've been following on social media, because people are like, well, the big picture is, and we got to move past the kneeling. Well, we do, but you can't move past the kneeling without the person who first started kneeling. Here's the issue. Like, if Colin had not taken a knee, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So he is the catalyst for this entire conversation to be happening. I tried to think about this in a historical context. Think about this. If this happened in, let's say, 1967, and a player was protesting, and Dr. King had an opportunity to sit with the NFL, would he have done so without a guarantee, without a commitment that that player would be given his job back? And I don't think he would have. I can't know for sure, but I don't think he would have. I think that there are two conversations happening and people are conflating those things. Colin Kaepernick first lost his job. That's one issue. Secondly, there's the issue of systemic oppression that's happening that needs to be dealt with. So folks are talking about he got a settlement. Like, I don't care, he got a settlement. It's what they were supposed to do because they wrongfully blackballed him. He did an endorsement deal with Nike. So have a whole bunch of other people. Take money out of the equation and just look at the facts. The facts are, this man was blackballed for peacefully protesting. He lost his job. So let's just say you were working at AT&T, and all the black people at AT&T got a 45-minute break, and the white folks got an hour break. And you were black, and you were like, I'm protesting this. This is crazy. So you protested. You participated in a strike, and then you were fired. You made noise about it. Al Sharpton hears about it. He comes down. He meets with the head of AT&T. They come to an agreement. They work out and say, we're going to change this policy so that all black people get the same amount of time on their break as white people get. However, we're still not going to hire you back. You be okay with that? I don't think you would. I know I wouldn't. So that to me is really the point of what's happening. I did read in Jamel Hill's piece in The Atlantic, you should read it if you haven't, that there may have been some conversation. Colin wasn't really, feeling what Jay-Z was saying. I don't know what that was. I'm not going to speculate about it. What I will say, though, is that Colin is an unintentional martyr, in my opinion, in this particular situation. And I think that as black folks, if we're going to move forward, we have to do it in a way that brings all of us and not, leaves some of us as casualties along the road. We don't need the NFL to do civil rights and social justice. It's not what they've been doing. But they have been doing it with other players already. So this is not some initiative that hasn't gotten any light or hasn't had any movement outside of what's happening now. There are other components of it that I won't go into in this particular post. But I'm definitely troubled by the way that this happened. I feel like Colin Kaepernick should have been at that table. I feel like he should have his job back. And I don't care how much money he's made, he's done that. The other thing is, what message does this send to a black person working for some other powerful company, right, who has some issues? That some other black person, they're going to meet with another Negro, have a conversation, and, address the issue maybe. But this is really more about optics, because last year during the Super Bowl, we were talking about Colin Kaepernick. Rihanna turned down the performance. Cardi B turned down the performance. So we were having this conversation. I feel like the NFL did this as a way to change the narrative, talk about something different, and to quote unquote, address these issues, but still not give Colin his job back. I know you can't make a team bring somebody on, but if they collectively decided not to hire him, they can collectively come together and decide someplace that he can play football. I'd love to know your comments and your thoughts. Leave them below. That's my piece.